So Motorhead's Manticore Tapes finally see the light of day with this release. But how good is it? Let's get into it, shall we? Welcome classic rock fans to a short unboxing and review, and today we're going to get all heavy on you and turn our attention to Motorhead. Of course, I'm talking about this, the Manticore Tapes, which actually comes out, I think it's the end of this week. There is a purchasing link just below this video if you want to check it out. Before we get going, I'll urge you to click like, subscribe and check that notification bell, and check some of the links below this video for ways you can support the sterling work done at the channel. It's always much appreciated. Become a Patreon, why not? There's a fine body of work on there now, and we're really forming a great classic rock community. Anyway, that's that said. So the Manticore Tapes are fascinating as it brings together this band in its early stages, thrashing out some recordings using, I think, Ronnie Lane's mobile. But what's interesting is you listen to these and they sound quite, not a word I would usually associate with Motorhead, but they sound rather tentative. They haven't yet embraced that full growl and rumble that you'd get by the time we get to the Overkill album. Interesting stuff on it. It sounds, a lot of the stuff sounds more, kind of more punky than it does the sort of familiar sort of Motorhead sound. You get a track like Intro, wonderful. I love Intro, instrumental. This was a number that didn't actually make it onto their first LP, which was released on the Chiswick label, of course. But I think it was released a bit later on the Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers EP, which I think came out about 1980. Interesting about this time, of course, the press certainly weren't on Motorhead's side, so what else is new? And Sounds magazine Jeff Barton described Motorhead as a gross musical hybrid of the MC5s by way of musical ineptitude and bludgeoning unsubtlety. And Ed Jones of Melody Maker said this band were producing a kind of industrial metallic ugliness. And Lemmy describes the band's sound as loud, fast, arrogant, speed freak rock and roll. And it was about this time, of course, there was the unmitigated disaster when Motorhead supported a Blue Oyster Cult at, I think it was the Hammersmith Odeon. Blue Oyster Cult's road crew wouldn't allow Motorhead to sound check, and the result was not a good gig for the band. In fact, one reviewer of the gig described it as the most horrendous display of heavy metal incompetence ever performed. And the aforementioned Jeff Barton went on to say that the worst band in the world. I think that's where the line, if you live next door to Motorhead, your lawn would die, probably comes from. But as the famous Oscar Wilde says, there's only one thing worse than being talked about, and that's not being talked about. And these recordings were made using Ronnie Lane's mobile and were stuffed away in a box somewhere under his bed, I suspect. But they've been dusted off for this release. In terms of the sound quality, I mean, the production is hardly pristine, as you could imagine. But it's just a fascinating document to kind of feel and hear the evolution of this band. And then many of these songs would remain in their life set all the way through to about 1979, before of course, the release of the wonderful Ace of Spades album. And the tracks on here are the excellent Intro, Leaving Here, Vibrator, Help Keep Us on the Road, The Watcher, Motorhead. Lemmy's vocals feel quite subdued in this version. Witch Doctor, which instrumental, is actually a version of a 1965 John Mayall number. Iron Horse, Born to Lose instrumental, absolutely fabulous. Leaving Here, alternate take. Vibrator, alternate take, and The Watcher, alternate take. I think this is one of the most interesting Motorhead releases recently. And let's take a closer look at what you get for your money. So here we are, this is the item itself. It's a beautiful sort of gold digipack sleeve, which beautifully foregrounded by the Motorhead motif, that familiar snaggletooth motif. Here is a spine, which I don't think it's going to focus on. Never mind, there's the rear. Here are the labels that came off the actual item itself earlier. There's that one, and there's this one here. Motorhead, the Manticore Tapes, the original Lost, Never Heard album from 1976, recorded at the legendary Manticore Studios, marking the first ever recording with the classic Three Amigos lineup at their rawest. Includes additional alternate takes and instrumentals and a 20-page booklet with liner notes from the longtime collaborator Chris Needs for a unique insight into the birth of this legendary band. I'll keep those. So it opens up like such, like a triptych really. And I love the booklet that comes with this. Beautiful design. It's mainly text, which I like actually. I like there to be lots and lots of information. And here is the CD itself. So there we are, that's Motorhead, the Manticore Tapes. This will be released in a few days' time, I think. I think this is Friday it comes out. There is a purchasing link just below this video. So there we are, Motorhead, the Manticore Tapes. Are you going to buy this? Please leave your comments below. I'll urge you once more to click like, subscribe and check that notification bell. Do all that stuff. It helps the algorithm, helps this channel to grow. And other than that, I'll leave you with my closing salvo, which is hope you're well, staying safe, and of course that you keep listening.